host of the Why So Serious show on BlazeRadioOnline.com.
It is Monday, and it is time for the Why So Serious show. I'm Jesse Morrison, alongside Mallory Schnell, Matt Kling, Evan Osherwitz, and Jeremy Schnell. And baseball was kind of back, and it's still back, but kind of, sort of, not really. Does anyone want to elaborate? The two Marlins fans here, Mallory, Jeremy, what has your team done to us?
I think that the Marlins shouldn't have even played the game yesterday when they had already multiple people test positive.
What about when Juan Soto tested positive last Thursday and everybody's like, it's fine. He played in a couple of scrimmages, been around the entire team. Don't worry about it. And they played in the game. Why? What is going on? This is so unorganized and it's so terrible.
I said this weeks ago that the NBA is is the only organized bubble.
Jesse, do you remember how many days I said it would take the MLB to shut down? I said 10 days. I think next Monday they shut down.
I can see that, but I can also see I could also just see them being baseball and being super greedy and just
what Rob Manfred just said?
Kind of just letting them just, go out there and play, and they don't really care. And I think that if the players do it, then they'll do it, honestly, because I just think that if they're pushing forward through this, then it just seems like they're going to push forward through.
It only happened to one team, but then you're going to
two teams, actually, technically.
And then you're going to see it happen with the Phillies because the Phillies played the Marlins, and they're not
Phillies. Second team.
What?
The second team, the Phillies.
And the Reds. The Reds have had positive tests too.
Yeah, and they're playing tonight.
It's going to happen to the Mets and the Braves because the Braves played against the Marlins last week, and it's going to happen to the Mets because it's going to happen to all these teams, not only because they're playing against teams that have players that tested positive for COVID, but because there's zero sort of how do you say it? They're not organized at all. MLB is just letting these players stay at home when they go and play home games, be around their families, be around their kids. Who knows where their families have been?
Their kids are about to start school in some locations.
Right. And Manfred said, and I quote, "I don't see it as a nightmare." This is a nightmare scenario. 14 players or 14 people in one organization testing positive. I would see that as a nightmare. Huh?
11 players and 3.
11 players and 3 coaches, yes.
Oh, I thought it was 8 players and 3. Oh.
No, 11 out of 33 players. That's a third of the players.
That's that's a third. They have a 30-person roster. That's more than a third.
Marlins are out making signings today, though.
Yeah, they're
they have to.
Everybody's
they're just gonna spread the COVID to all the new players.
I just think it's overall insane that they're doing baseball during a pandemic without being in a bubble, because the bubble seems to be working. We had this will scratch our final segment, but congrats to the Houston Dynamo, not the Houston Dynamo, that's the MLS. Houston Dash, I'm sorry. Houston Dash for winning the NWSL Challenge Cup, which they completed in a bubble setting very well.
Better name than MLS's back tournament.
Yes, way better than the MLS's back tournament. But yes, they completed that bubble and it seemed to go through smoothly. Yes, there was a team that dropped out early, but that was probably the smart thing to do because they showed up with a bunch of COVID and they said, we don't want to spread this to the rest of the league, so the tournament can't go on. And so the tournament went on well, no real issues that we heard of, and it ended with a pretty great final yesterday that I watched. And so I just think that you have to bubble these leagues, and yeah, you're going to be away from your family, but that's only for a little bit of the season of the year, and people they're on the road, they're away from their families anyway, and you could do what the WNBA is doing. Yes, there's only 12 teams, but you could put your relatives into the bubble, and maybe they could be the fans. So
I was
It's
talking
just-
earlier today, and something that I brought up was Manfred didn't push hard enough for a bubble. And my friend said, no, the players didn't want to do the bubble. And then I said, then tell them they won't get paid and they'll play. I promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you they'll play.
But
Of course, the players aren't going to want a bubble. Like,
but it's the players. But we can put some blame on the players, and
Right.
there's just like my thing was like for example, the Toronto Blue Jays. They were barred from playing in Canada in Toronto, which was probably a great decision, and an example of why Canada is doing much better than the United States. They were told that they can play in the United States at the AAA ballpark, and no, well they are now, but they were like, no, we're not going to do that. We want a major league facility, which no, just play with do what's safest. Toronto's probably Buffalo's probably the safest option right now because
they're doing really good.
You're not going into other teams' clubhouses and dealing with that. So I'm just saying that like these players are delusional for a little bit. Like just do whatever you can to stay safe. Whatever that entails. If that means that you're not staying at home, do you want to play major? It's like the stay off the weed argument. Do you want to smoke weed or do you want to play in the NFL? It's
Well, now you can do both because they're not testing for it anymore. But
Okay,
again, like it's not the players who didn't want to play in Buffalo. These decisions are all coming from management.
It's the players who didn't want to play in the bubble.
Okay, but like again, it's not the players' fault that the clubhouses are still open. It's not the players' fault that the Jays wanted to split PNC Park with the Penguins. Like
the players specifically said
they deserve a little bit of blame.
Did they not?
But there are players who are doing their best to follow the rules. Like Matt mentioned before the show, Didi Gregorius hit 2 dingers wearing a mask the other night. That's good. He should be commended for that. There are a bunch of players who are wearing masks. Matt Olson wore a mask at first base for the A's today. So, like, I don't think
Anthony Rizzo puts on a mask every time someone comes to first base.
Okay,
He's a cancer survivor.
Blaming the players as a collective, though. It's more on the individuals to follow the rules.
Yes, it is, but it's also it's kind of impossible to not be exposed to coronavirus in this country because people here are like think that masks is infringing on their rights, which is just so stupid. Like, okay, so over in Korea right now, KBO, they have started allowing fans back in the Korean baseball organization.
Japan did too.
What'd you say?
Japan did already.
10% of the crowds, 10% of the stadium. They did a video of it during one of these MLB games tonight while they were talking to the Daniel Kim, the insider for the KBO. And all these fans are socially distanced with their masks on, and there is basically like a mask police inside of these stadiums that like the security guards will literally say, if they see you with your mask on your chin or anything, put this up. NASCAR allowed fans back, and their fans were charging the gate, the like front of the stands to go wave to their favorite drivers, like without masks on. America is just, as a nation, we for some reason just think that any time that the government tells us something, that it's an infringement on our rights. And it's not. It's just to protect society and to, help us get back to a little bit of normal, like we see in these other countries that are actually taking it seriously and just listening to, what the health officials are saying and not making documentaries like the freaking Plandemic.
Well, look, obviously this story is about 4.5, 5 months old, this pandemic. And part of me is thinking, what Major League Baseball is doing is essentially adapting to a new normal where you will probably have people on your team get sick. What do you do in that scenario? And First off, I think what they did was right today. Yesterday, different story, and I say that part of the way because the Marlins clobbered the Phillies shorthanded. So which by the way should be a topic in its own discussion, how this sick team was able to win. But we're talking about
they had most of their lineup except for the catcher. But.
Yeah. Well, the catcher was out before the series. They had to scrap the starter, and it was the first baseman on Saturday that was out, and Ramirez, who's one of the outfielders. But, we're looking like this is all Eastern teams. We're not talking about the Dodgers getting sick. We're not talking about the Diamondbacks getting sick.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the Cubs getting sick. We're not talking about the Twins getting sick. We're talking about a couple East teams, which right now what they did was right. They're not going to play the games tonight or tomorrow in Miami. Likely the Marlins will play the Orioles in Baltimore Wednesday and Thursday as scheduled. I don't know about the Yankees-Phillies on Tuesday. Obviously the game got called off today. Maybe they might scrap that and just move up to New York Wednesday, Thursday. But right now, it's a regional issue, and what I'm trying to make my point is this might be the new normal for Major League Baseball. We might have to take it a section of the country at a time to see the repercussions.
But it's putting people's lives in danger, and players with pre-existing conditions and stuff. It's asinine. There's symptoms for 14 days or sometimes people don't get diagnosed for 14 days after exposure. So they're just going to test them. If they're negative, then
But some people might not have any symptoms.
Right. Yeah. But I'm just saying that some people don't test positive, until 14 days after they've been exposed. So, it's just mind boggling that they're not.
What I'm hearing about the Yankees and Phillies is that the Yankees are refusing to play in Philadelphia. Because they don't want.
That's fine. Come up to the Phillies should be able to go.
The Yankees said, "Come play in New York. We don't want to play in Philadelphia because the Marlins because they don't want to have the same clubhouse that the Marlins did, even if they're going to fumigate it."
The other things that they should do is be able to use these minor league complexes, which I get it. It's not. Some of them are a little bit out of the way. I mean, but some are relatively close. Like Philadelphia, Lehigh Valley's about an hour away. The Yankees could play in Trenton, hypothetically. That's about an hour away from New York. Or they could play in Staten Island, which is half an hour away. All these little satellite places where hypothetically they could, in theory, have. They have these large squads. I mean, they were talking early this morning, God forbid what if the Marlins team can't play. They have a squad in Jupiter that's ready. Yeah. So I'm just saying that this is what the new normal may look like. And this might be in the NFL too, coming up.
The NFL is shaking right now.
The NFL should be shaking.
They need to do a bubble. Here in Montana, we have 2 NFL-ready facilities. If you do need to come here, NFL, in Bozeman and Missoula, 2 NFL-ready facilities. How about that?
Did you see that they're threatening lack of pay if the players get sick based on some outside activities? That might be what baseball might have to do if football adopts this, which is smart, I guess.
I did see that, but this has been a lot of serious hard-hitting stuff right here to start off, and getting kind of tired of it. As of now, Major League Baseball is still going on, so we'll talk about Dr. Anthony Fauci's first pitch, which I have.
But by publishing time, it might be gone for all we know. Or, I don't know, the Marlins might be dead. I saw a joke today. It was did you see this tweet? It said,
I don't know which one you're talking about before you.
Adam Silver, no tests, or no positive cases. Gary Bettman, no positive cases. Rob Manfred, why don't we feel for Marlins?
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, here we go. Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Apparently, he was a good basketball player back in his day. Oh, just a bit outside.
He's reaching 80. He's an old man.
Yeah.
Better or worse than 50 Cent's first pitch?
Oh, it's I think it's
horribly bad.
Because I looked at 50s, and 50 has a good arm motion. It just doesn't go the
No
right.
accuracy.
No, but like 50 should be up. Like he's younger than Fauci. Like 50s is worse because like he's younger and like he should be able to throw a ball.
Well, what about the Carl Lewis first pitch? That
Ooh.
was an atrocity. Or the Carly Rae Jepsen first pitch.
Ooh, Carly Rae Jepsen was a really.
Did you see the Mariah Carey first pitch? It's like,
I think I've seen all of these.
yeah.
They're all bad. You know, worst first pitches and terrible national anthems are always a great thing to laugh
I
about.
don't know about the terrible national anthems. By the way, the Nationals national anthem was super quick.
I'm talking. Yes, that was quick, but I'm talking about the. You can't help with the Fergie national anthem. Just
I was there.
you were there.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Well, to quote Charles Barkley, I needed a cigarette after that.
You were not there, Mallory.
Yes, I was.
Mallory, start walking. You were at the skills competition the day before. Start walking.
I was
No.
Fergie sang the national anthem.
No, start walking. Bad.
No, I'm not walking. Fergie was there. I was at All-Star Weekend, and so was Fergie.
Oh, okay. So you weren't actually at the game.
I said I was there. I didn't specify if I was like.
Have you seen Fergie live? I have. Twice.
As a Black Eyed Pea, I'm assuming.
I went to one Black Eyed Peas concert, and then she was opening for Demi Lovato because DJ Khaled brought her out. He was like, "My friend, Fergie."
Funny story, when I was in Montana, Jeremy was like, oh yeah, you know, I like the Black Eyed Peas Super Bowl halftime show. And then we watched this Black Eyed Peas Super Bowl halftime show.
I'm like, yeah, 12-year-old Jeremy kind of liked this, but like,
like I liked it too. And like we go back and look at it, and it was awful. It was so bad.
like, Usher comes flying from the sky, like he chills. Like
She did not sing "Sweet Child of Mine" well. I'll say that.
No, it was just awful. It was really bad. But cardboard cutouts and fake crowd noise. I personally am a big fan of these at Major League Baseball games, especially the Tom Hanks cardboard cutout, because Tom Hanks apparently was a hot dog vendor guy in the 1970s at Oakland Coliseum when he was a teenager, and now he is lending his voice and a cardboard cutout of himself.
you guys seen the huge baby heads?
What'd you say?
You seen the huge baby heads?
Oh yeah, those are a little crazy.
Yeah. So here's the thing about the cardboard. Here's the thing about the cardboard cutouts. I think it would be a really funny prank to pull on somebody, because you can pay $50 at certain ballparks and just get whoever's head posted on there. So like if you want to surprise like one of your friends or whatever, just put them right behind home plate. I kind of like that idea, but on TV they just look terrible. I remember I was watching the D-backs Padres opening day game, and I saw like 10 dogs behind the plate at Petco Park, which makes sense, right? Because it's like named after a pet store.
Yeah.
But it just looks terrible on television. And the same thing with the crowd noise. Like I get you're trying to replicate like having fans in attendance, but on some broadcasts it just sounds so bad. Like you can barely hear the announcers because of the crowd noise. So I'm not a huge fan of either one, but I guess A for effort.
I mean, some of the ballparks are playing their own crowd noise, which whatever, but the Fox broadcasts, first off, they have the virtual fans, which they only do in like every couple seconds. Although I could not see a home run because of the virtual fans during the Brewers-Cubs game, because they just
okay. Those are 1,000 times worse than the cutouts. I'll give you that.
That
But,
it's
like
not,
I'm still not a huge fan of either one. I don't mind looking at an empty outfield or like an empty area behind home plate as long as there's baseball going on in front of it.
Now, by the way, I really like the tarps that they put out in the outfield with the sponsors on them. That was a good idea, and good for Major League Baseball teams for getting some money to be able to do that. But what was I going to say? But Fox piped in crowd noise into the broadcast, which I thought was a little too much. They're doing that with the MLS's back tournament on FS1. They did it on Saturday. It's it's just too loud, essentially. But if you're a ballpark and want to play cheers after an out or loud cheers after a home run, that's fine with me. But I am a fan of the cardboard cutouts, by the way.
Yeah, it's just sometimes less is more. I get they're trying to make it like as close to the real thing as possible, but it just doesn't seem necessary to me.
Mallory, put it on the poll. How do you feel about the cardboard cutouts? Love it, A for effort, or hate it?
I like it, but
I feel
yeah.
like there's no in between. You gotta love it or hate it.
No, we got to have the A for effort one. I like the A for effort. Mallory,
guess I'm on A for
you
effort.
like it though?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I liked the custom ones and all that. Like, I think it's a
Just
nice
want a
touch.
bunch of Marlins man cutouts.
Yes.
Marlon
that-
was there to open the day. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the thing. Without having the Marlins playing a home game yet, I want to know if there's a Marlins man cardboard cutout behind home plate.
Well,
Oh my-
Marlins man and Derek Jeter don't get along, so
Yeah,
he
but
didn't.
Marlins
None of their
rebought-
games anymore.
Yeah, no, he rebought his season tickets.
Oh, did he? So they patched things up, or they just made a really good deal with him.
They just made a really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a smart thing there. All right, so the next thing we got to talk about is Shohei Otani came back and pitched for the first time in like 2 years, and it was really bad. Jeremy loves Shohei Otani. I love Shohei Otani from a hitting standpoint. I don't know about his pitching.
His fastball is down 7 miles per hour.
I think attempted to pitch is a more accurate way of describing what happened.
I mean,
I'm a big Otani fan too. I mean, the guy's a stud, but it was his first start in like almost 2 years. And I don't know what happened, but he couldn't hit the strike zone, walked 3 guys, gave up 5 runs without getting an out. Tough look. But I want to go back to something that John Smoltz said on that broadcast, which is that the command pitchers are having an easier time with the reduced summer camp, like lack of preparation. And the guys who throw heat like Otani are struggling more. And I thought that was pretty accurate.
Well, Otani doesn't throw
Hendricks
heat
had a
anymore.
great start the other night. It seems like the finesse pitchers are at an advantage here.
Otani's fastball is down 7 miles per hour from what it was 2 years ago. So he's got to try and learn how to become a command pitcher, and did not do too well.
Mallory, put it on the poll again. If you can't record an out, should that count as an appearance?
I think his ERA after that game was infinity.
I believe.
Isn't he? That's guys on here. Y'all can fact check me on that.
Yes, I believe that when there is no out recorded and you give up a bunch of runs, that your ERA is infinity. Okay, so he's 1 for 5 at the plate this year. Yes, he is 0-1 with infinity listed as his ERA.
I love baseball just because that's possible. Like there's no other sport where you can have like infinity of something. Like
0.0 innings pitched, 3 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks. 5. That's so bad. That is literally the worst. That's one of the worst outings in baseball history. And
can I just say that there have been not a lot of good starts so far this year.
I don't know, but I don't think you guys have been watching Orioles games. But Alex Cobb had a good start yesterday. The starter for the Birds had a pretty good start. Wade LeBlanc. So yeah, I mean,
Dylan Bundy had a good start with the Angels, and Zach Wheeler had a good start with the Phillies. But
Jacob DeGrom.
Yeah,
He's
I mean, yeah, but
Sandy
DeGrom was
Alcantara.
short. Like,
Sandy Alcantara.
oh, shut up.
Corey Kluber, and then he got injured. That one inning was really good though.
Justin Verlander also apparently was not out for the season, or he was out for the season and then not out for the season. He had a really good start on Friday as well. So it's not like there's not been.
But it seems like there's been a lot of short leashes on these guys so far.
Yeah, which is so stupid because they're playing 60 games. They're literally playing. They're going to start 12 times. It's like a third of their usual starts. It's so stupid. Baseball just doesn't make any sense. Do we have anything else to talk about?
You've been way too serious today.
We have been. Do we have anything else to talk about? We've got. What'd you say?
It'd be funny things.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they expanded the playoffs, by the way, too. But let me tell you, we are moving on. We are moving on. Bol Bol is the greatest basketball player I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude. I told everybody who knew the best of all time. I also said to everybody that Ben Simmons was going to be really good, and he turned out really good. So
He's okay.
He's all right.
He can't shoot. Shoot the three. Get back to me. Do it in the playoffs. Mallory, put it on the poll as well. Is Bol Bol better than Michael Jordan already?
I'm not tweeting that.
Yeah.
That's all right. Then I'm putting.
Hasn't played a real game yet.
It's an
putting it on the
exhibition
poll.
game,
What
guys.
are we talking about?
he's the best basketball player I've ever seen in my life.
I've never seen anybody better. He's 7'3" and plays point guard and center at the same time.
That's his problem.
No, that's not his problem. He plays point guard and center at the same and
Best player
small
in the
forward.
NBA ever.
He's huge.
Just like I said,
Oh.
and DeAndre Ayton shooting the three. How about that?
No,
Yeah.
but the only problem that I have is Bol Bol is very skinny, and he's not as skinny as his dad was. Like, he's not 7'7", 200, but he's very skinny, so I'm very concerned about how he's going to hold up. But as of
That's what
now,
I
and while he's playing basketball, he is the greatest player I've ever seen.
Should the Suns even be there though? Like, also, like, 'cause back to the DeAndre Ayton thing. Like,
Should the Pelicans even be there?
No.
They've got the other Michael Jordan point, too.
Yeah. Zion.
Right.
Everyone just needs to stop comparing players to each other.
Thank you.
Everybody's
But Bol is better than Michael Jordan. Absolutely, 100%.
like
I don't get what's wrong with that. Like, is
played
it
two
really,
scrimmages, and I'm already convinced.
Let him play a real game.
I feel like he did play like in a real game.
As
Hey,
a
then why
scrimmage-
aren't you more upset that the Heat traded him right after they drafted him then?
I am pissed. I've told you I was pissed. And KZ Okala is hurt.
He should have been the number one pick over Zion Williamson. Like,
Yeah, KZ has a tendonitis, not playing right now.
Yeah, that's why Heat Nation was all apologizing. They thought Spoelstra was just locking him up. They were like, hashtag free KZ.
Free KZ.
Enough Heat talk. I just got to say, I felt really bad for Bol Bol on draft night because he got invited to the draft and fell to the 44th pick. And when he walked across the stage, he just looked so defeated. So I'm glad he's finally getting some hype,
And
even
that
if it is
beautiful Miami Heat hat.
Yeah, I just got Denver knows what they're doing, picking up these guys with injury issues later in the draft than they probably should go and turning them into decent players. I don't think he's going to play that much when the actual playoffs start, but hopefully he does well.
Play. Oh, he'll play. He's the best player on the floor, dude. Like,
He'll play the regular season games.
no, he'll play in the playoffs too. He's literally.
I don't know. Denver's got a really deep team, and they do. And Michael Porter Jr. needs to get more minutes too after the few games he played in the regular season.
By the way, everybody on Twitter, unlike 3 of the hosts on this show currently, get the show. Currently 100% yes for Bol Bol being better than Michael Jordan. You see, maybe we should invite the audience on more. Maybe take callers. Jeremy, should we take more callers?
Yeah.
Yeah, they get the show.
786-456.
It wasn't just like you 3 voting.
What'd you say?
So it wasn't. You sure it's not just like a couple of you voting on that?
It's probably Jesse from all of his accounts.
I voted with one account. I literally voted with one account.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but I've definitely influenced polls before.
Yes, of course. You've got to vote on the polls. Some of our polls are hundreds of votes. Some of our polls are 5.
Bachelor polls get the most votes.
Yes,
Yeah.
because we're tweeting it live while Bachelor Nation is on Twitter.
Hey,
So we normally get between 15 and 70 votes.
look, let's talk about the biggest NBA story of the week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lou Williams.
He likes his chicken wings. What's wrong with that?
Absolutely nothing wrong with that if he wasn't going to
He has his own wing flavor at this restaurant that he went to.
And he was not wearing a mask, walking around, just chilling.
I gotta say, what he did is not cool, but I kind of understand why he was tempted since Jack Harlow was there. Like, tell me you wouldn't leave the bubble to go party with Jack Harlow.
Okay,
and
Left
John
bubble
Elway.
because I'm
As far as we know right now, Jack Harlow is a one-hit wonder artist. So
and as far as we know, Lou Williams' grandfather passed away as well. So like that actually did.
But
The
who
excuse
is
I am
Jack
100% convinced was legit. That did not require him to go to that club, but I understand why he was tempted to do it.
he
He's
wanted some
still
wings.
breaking the rules, still kind of letting his team down. But
Not
I
even
feel
social
you.
distance.
Six
Yes, he didn't
man.
even wear a mask.
Yeah, the mask is bad, but I'm telling you, the wings I've heard at the Magic City restaurant are
Not a
I don't
restaurant.
what?
Can we also just appreciate how Jack Harlow did a terrible job trying to cover for Lou? Not only did he post the picture, but when he got confronted about it, he said it was an old picture. Like, he hasn't been famous for like 6 months.
Also,
Like, let's just
old
appreciate
picture,
that.
And Lou Williams was wearing the mask that he got in the bubble.
Yeah, Jack Harlow, worst liar ever. Stick to rapping, bud. That was brutal.
Who is Jack Harlow?
Pat
What's
McAfee
poppin'?
The
had,
song, the
Life just
song that
happened.
Jesse was
How
playing.
have you not heard that?
he probably has.
That means I have
Fair.
to
He
look
said
this
they
up.
have the best wings. Like I trust. Like it's Magic City restaurant.
Okay, then order out. Have some go inside, get your order, and take it out. Like, don't linger and hang around with the strippers.
What strippers? What?
Ask me.
Magic
You're,
City
you're a
restaurant.
liar. It's not a restaurant. It is an adult entertainment
Yes,
establishment.
but it has food, so that makes it a restaurant.
And he was hanging out with the strippers too. It's not just the wings that he got
Okay,
there.
He's saying hi to some
if
friends.
if one of you guys is going
You
to
can't
cover,
do that.
okay, no, you can't call them. You call them entertainers. It's an adult entertainment venue. It's you
Gentlemen's
can't call it a restaurant
Gentlemen's Club.
either.
All right, strip club.
There you go.
Adult entertainment venue. If you're going to be politically correct, Jesse,
Mallory, put it on the poll. Is Magic City a restaurant or a gentleman's club?
No,
Adult
restaurant,
enter-
entertainment. What
adult entertainment.
Yeah. Okay. Is it a restaurant or an adult entertainment establishment?
No, give more options. Restaurant, adult entertainment establishment, gentleman's club, or strip club.
Yes, those are the 4 choices.
Wait,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. 3 of the
Restaurant.
4 are the same thing. So
Yes, 3 or 4 are the exact same thing, but
Exact
that's
same
what makes
thing.
this poll the best poll of all time.
I'm gonna need you to repeat
look,
that.
I'm just saying his quarantine is deserved so. But
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of thankful he didn't get away with it, because if anything did happen and he went back to the bubble without having to quarantine, that could potentially be really bad. So
When you
Okay.
come back to the bubble, when you come back to the bubble, you have to quarantine for at least 48 hours. After you get 2 negative tests, then you're allowed to go and see your teammates. That is already in place, but he's getting suspended for an extra 8 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he didn't.
10
He didn't.
days.
Test. Okay, so he's getting technically down for 18 days.
So
10,
8 days. 8 days.
10-day total.
So you're supposed to quarantine for 2 days once you come back to the bubble.
If
And
you get tested, no, this is what I heard on the jump today. So if you get tested every day, you only have to quarantine for I think Jeremy's right there 2 days. But if you don't get tested every day, you have to quarantine for 10 days. So either way, because he didn't get tested every day, he would have had to quarantine for 10 days when coming back.
No,
So
because
really, this is a non-tour.
because Bam and Kendrick Nunn came back to the team. They came to the facility, like to the hotel, and then they got tested twice and were back within 48 hours. So if Lou Williams came back to the team, got tested twice, tested negative both times, he could come back on the team. So technically, he's getting suspended for 8 days.
all right. So basically, the NBA's bubble rules are just unnecessarily complicated and no one understands them. Just like how I don't get why teams have to finish their regular season schedule. Like, I guess for seeding, but there just seem to be a lot of weird intricacies that aren't necessary. Basically, I'm trying to say the NHL's bubble rules are better. I think we can all agree on that.
Thank you.
Mallory, did you put that on the poll yet?
I'm working on it.
Okay. By the
Let's
way,
for a while.
again, the Bol Bol poll, 82% yes, 11 votes. So, yeah, it looks like looks like people are getting the show, unlike the other three co-hosts here besides Jeremy and I.
He's the best player of all time. I've never seen anybody better.
No, my comparison is Patrick Mahomes because like Patrick Mahomes is the greatest football player I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So
Him and Aaron Rodgers are the two best football players I've ever seen in my life.
no, Aaron Rodgers looks like a normal quarterback in the playoffs. It's like he really looks like a normal.
You do.
Not against the Cowboys, he doesn't.
Team was 15-1.
Okay. Anyway,
So, football. You're talking football.
We have stuff to talk about with Mallory first before we move on to football. Mallory, are you finished with the poll, or should we talk football and come back?
do you have a bub date?
A bubble update?
Bub date.
Yeah, Bub Date at NBA Bubble Life Twitter account, and make sure you remove your background.
Okay, let me do that first.
Mallory, what's an adult entertainment scent?
There's character limits.
So is that an
and
adult
polls.
entertainment center?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we got a fun fact from Whiteside, the fun fact of the day.
Chances. I told my teammates, fun fact of the day, your chance of being 7 feet is 1 in 2 million. To see 3 7-footers, we got footers. 3 7-footers.
There's some flipping the bird.
Indy is a magical place.
It is a magical place.
2 million? The odds have to be longer than that in this country.
We've got some wholesome content of Jason Tatum reading his kid a book. He brought the same books as his kid into the bubble and reads them to him. We've got this tweet from Robin Lopez. I didn't want to mention this because I'm selfish, but there's a mini fridge full of ice cream bars and sandwiches in the players' lounge. Wasn't going to say anything, but people are starting to use the lounge now. Secret is out, dang it. So
So he was just concealing that from everyone and just going in and using it just for himself.
yeah. Another just random Whiteside Snapchat video.
Hello, CJ.
Just the content we need. And then the Suns coach, Monty, just jumping into the pool. You know, why not?
Why do they get to have so much fun and we don't?
I know. I want to be in the bubble with
I
them.
want to be in the bubble or the wubble. I want to be in one of the two. I'm so sad.
We got some players interrupting Rudy Gobert's press time.
Rudy.
Hey,
Rudy.
that's a good thing.
And I don't have any videos of it, but Deion Waiters is back. Philly
Deion
cheese.
Smith is back. 6 for 7 from 3 today.
Deion, we just care about Deion Waiters.
Double pump off balance 3-pointer.
That's
Amazing.
right up.
A minute into him being on the floor.
The Lakers are officially unfair. That's all I got to say about that.
Not that good.
They lost to the Mavs, though.
JR does not
Tell me
take
about
the
them Mavericks.
If anything, JR is an hindrance to any team he's on.
I don't agree with the Lakers being better than every team in the NBA. I think it's really, really close between
You
them.
can have a bunch of good players, but if chemistry isn't together, like the Heat have the best team chemistry. That's why they're gonna win
The
the
championship.
championship.
Yeah, exactly.
Better mute me, Jesse.
I'm just but the Lakers like everyone was talking about how great their chemistry was. Let's see how good it is with Deion Waiters and J.R. Smith in the mold, because I'm just not so convinced that those guys aren't just going to be, for a lack of a better term, locker room cancers. So yes, I'm
Right, well, we got rid of Deion. He was a locker room cancer.
yes, for a lack of a better term. Jeremy, take off the hat.
What happened?
Take off the hat.
I don't know what.
Wait, can I go get my hat?
No. We're talking to Jeremy.
Jamal Adams got traded to the Seahawks. Big deal. It was really big. But you know what's better than that, guys?
He's going to get his Seahawks hat now.
His helmet is fire, ladies and gentlemen. His helmet is fire. So we have got the Jamal Adams helmet right here. There's been various versions of this helmet. It is the Riddell Speed Flex helmet. There's now like the Precision Fit Speed Flex, and then the really nice one, the Precision Fit Diamond edition. And it just means that the padding is better inside. But if you see right here, which is cool about this helmet is that it like locks in with this sort of funky strap here, keep the helmet on more safely. It's got this this little thing right here for impact. If you get hit, it came out in 2015. Since then, it is somewhat revolutionized the game. You basically don't see any linemen wearing anything else because, the linemen are the most likely to have a head-on-head collision. So, just look at this beautiful helmet for linemen here. So, yeah, Jesse's helmet segment today is, last week it just fit perfectly with the Jamal Adams trade. Last week we had the old school Riddell helmet, and then this week we have, what their latest technology is. So yeah, Riddell Speed Flex.
Wow.
Go Hawks.
Thoughts?
By the way, well, first of all, great trade. Jamal Adams definitely wanted out of badly. The Jets are a dumpster fire. They probably will be again this year with Adam Gase, who is not liked by Jamal Adams.
He's not liked by any of his players. He's never been why do you think all of the superstars that were on the Dolphins and now the biggest superstar on the Jets has now asked to be traded? Every single Dolphins player was asked to be traded when Gase.
Hey, Le'Veon Bell's still on the Jets, so that's the only.
I know for a fact Le'Veon Bell does not like Adam Gase.
But good return though on the Jets' behalf. 2 first-round picks and Bradley McDougald, who's pretty good. So it was a positive trade up by both ends.
By the way, I decided to just skip asking Mallory to do this one, but I said, do the Dolphins have any superstars? Because that
Cameron Wake at the time he has to be traded.
Was he a superstar at that point in his career?
Cameron Wake will always be a superstar.
I don't think we've got so much Homer stuff going on right now. Jeremy, just get ready for Wednesday when the Marlins and the Orioles do play, hopefully.
Maybe.
The Orioles crush your Marlins 2 times in a row. Jamal Adams, I think
I'm searching
a trade for both sides, but what is more important is
searching for your World Series that you guys have this decade. I'm searching for the World Series that you guys have in this century. Hold on. I'm searching for the World Series that you guys have this century.
Okay, Jeremy, we get it.
You guys are annoying.
We could have just a Miami sports segment every week.
I don't think we should. I'm already going to say no because not going to happen. All right, here though, I saw some movies. We're going to talk about them, and I don't know if anybody else saw movies other than Mallory. We're going to talk about those too.
I did too. Wait, what?
So,
Jeremy saw those.
In a surprise, it's not movies with Matt this week, and it's not movies with Max, because Max ain't here. It's movies with
Mallory.
Okay, Jesse, go through your movies first, quick.
Wait, I was going to play the intro, but I guess the intro didn't download. So here's movies with Jesse. Okay, so I went to a drive-in movie theater
Wow.
in Glendale because, I wanted to get out of the house.
That's the one that's from Glendale. Wow. Big NASCAR driver.
On a decent NASCAR driver for his team.
McDonald?
What is his name? It doesn't matter. But okay, so I went and saw a couple of movies, that are of I'm gonna say our parents' generation. Those movies being Animal House and Blues Brothers. And I'll start with Animal House. Animal House is considered a classic. John Belushi's in it. Very classic movie from a lot of people's perspective. However, when I went in and watched that movie, I realized that movie. Well, I'd kind of known like what were kind of the sketchy things beforehand, but I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna give it a chance. But there's just 3 or 4 scenes.
Hold on. Breaking news. We have pictures of the wings, and the caption is, "I totally get it, Jay," or Lou will.
Wow, those look so good. Those
Post
look so
that.
good.
Okay.
It looks
All
like
right.
North
fine.
Wings.
Tweet that with the show account, Mallory. Retweet.
Who posted that?
And send it.
Jeremy, send it to Mallory, please. Yes, but going back to Animal House, there are some scenes in Animal House that are absolutely the funniest things ever. For example, John Belushi in the cafeteria is hilarious. We've got the marching band scene where they lead a marching band into an alley by accident or on purpose, but the marching band just follows the leader because that's just what they do. That's really funny. Where they all yell toga is funny, and then a guitar at a party gets smashed because we know who that guy is, and that guy was at the party, and so John Belushi comes down and takes that guy's guitar away and smashes it. So that was really funny.
What is John Belushi's name in the movie?
I don't remember.
Okay, that's why you're saying John Belushi. Carry on.
Remember it? Have you seen it?
No.
Okay. But then there are some scenes in that movie that make the movie unwatchable for 2020, and the fact that it was playing in a drive-in was bad. There is stuff involving potential rape and underage women, and there's racism. There is peeping Tom. So like stuff that like I was talking to my dad about, and stuff that he said was just kind of laughed off back in the day, and just stuff that is it's just not funny. Like you sit there and you're just like, not, like you don't laugh at that. Like it's just like I just can't believe that 42 years ago or 44 or however old that movie is. It's not that old of a movie. It's not like it was made in the 50s or the 40s. Like that short amount of time ago, we were still laughing that off as
But it's a movie
I don't
about.
know why it was even laughed off ever.
Boys will be boys. That's what it was.
Yeah, maybe
It's
that.
a movie about a frat, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's frat culture still exists to this day.
Yeah, but
There are not
we
good
don't
things
consider
about
it
frat
normal.
culture.
We don't consider that to be normal these days. So, yeah. So I don't know. Here's my thing on it. Watch the funny scenes. Pull them up on YouTube because they are some of the most classic scenes in comedy history. But the rest of the movie, you can just go in the vault with Song of the South.
Yeah, I'll get to the Blues Bros.
But
So
yeah,
I've seen that one. I could talk
Blues
about that.
Brothers
later.
is amazing. Everything is just on point. All the dancing scenes, it is just it's so funny. If you haven't seen it, just watch it. Like I can't remember anything in that movie being necessarily bad.
Look,
And
there are 2 things that stand out, 3 things that stand out to me in that movie.
what?
There are just total self-deprecating humor.
No,
Number 1, Aretha Franklin singing Think, her classic song Think, in the context of her character, which is hilarious.
It's great.
It's great. And then there's Ray Charles, who is in there as a music shop owner, coming out saying, I'll check this piano, then sings Shake a Tail Feather, and then says, yeah, you can have it, but I have to give you an IOU, which I thought that was pretty funny. And then Cab Calloway coming out and singing Minnie the Moocher while the brothers are trying to steal a car or something. It's hilarious. Like, it's hilarious. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
My favorite part of that movie was when they talked about they go to the country bar and pretend to be a different band.
Yeah.
And they sing the song Rawhide.
Yep.
And the whole time John Belushi just stands like this and just like they do like a back and forth thing that is just so funny. And so yeah, and the scene with the The Ping one, the nun, that was incredible.
But the best scene of all is when they go to church
Oh yeah, with James Brown.
and have an epiphany.
Yeah, with James Brown, that is insane too. And then when it's so funny that every time that they go and meet someone and that they need something from, they say, "We're on a mission from God." It's just so good. If you haven't seen Blues Brothers, go see Blues Brothers because it is an incredible movie. It already is in my top 10 of all time, hands down. Like, it was great to see
Number
it.
10, Jesse.
What'd you say?
Number 10, Jesse.
Oh, stop.
Oh no! Oh gosh,
We're not doing this.
I can't do this quickly.
Number 9, Jesse.
All right.
We
All
can
right,
do this after the
we're
show.
gonna-
Movies with Mallory now.
We're gonna throw it over to movies with Mallory.
Hi guys.
Hi.
I'm very excited because I had been waiting 2 years for the sequel of The Kissing Booth. First, I'll do a quick recap of The Kissing Booth 1. Spoiler alert, so if you haven't seen the movies, skip over a few minutes. Okay. The Kissing Booth.
Hold on, before you go. By the way, there's no spoilers in this movie because the minute you start watching it, you know exactly what is going to happen. From point A to point B, you know exactly what is going to happen.
Did you enjoy it like I did?
Let's just let Mallory. I'll get into how I feel about it.
Okay, so basically the plot of the movie is there's Elle and her best friend. I already forgot his name.
I went to high school with someone named Ellie Evans.
There's Elle and her best friend Lee is his name, and they've been best friends since they were little, and they have these set of rules that are very outdated. One of them is that Elle can never date Lee's older brother, Noah. Anyway, of course, you know, Elle starts secretly dating Noah. Lee gets mad. Anyway, it's a whole big thing in the first movie. They decide they're going to stop with the rules. Noah goes off to college at Harvard, and they're going to try and make long distance work. Cut to the second movie. Noah goes off to college and meets this girl named Chloe. And they say that they have nothing going on between them, which is very hard to believe because somehow her earring was underneath his bed. She said she just crashed the night there one time. And then this guy named Marco transfers to Elle's high school, and they do this Dance Dance Revolution contest together for $50,000.
Competitive Dance Revolution in front of 5,000 people in an audience. It is the
To
dumbest.
help pay for college for Elle, even though that will probably only cover 1 year of tuition at either of the schools that she's interested in going to.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And yeah, so Noah, of course, surprises Elle at the Dance Dance Revolution competition.
Wow.
Marco and Elle end up kissing.
One moment, I called it before they even went on stage.
Yes. They end up kissing, and then it cuts to Noah's face becoming really sad. And he storms out of there.
You know, he cheated first, so there was a scene of Chloe picking out, what's his name's clothes.
No.
My girlfriend said, if another girl ever picks out your clothes, you're cheating, Jeremy. So, therefore, he's cheating. Noah's cheating.
His thing was that he just wanted to have a girl best friend like she had Lee. I mean,
they're family friends, like, since they were in, like, children. Like, it's totally different.
So the end of the movie.
Noah, I think that Elle is like a horrible person in both movies, and Mallory made me think of this like well, I mean, Lee and Elle are kind of the problem in this whole thing because like they have a super codependent.
Girlfriend's the problem.
Oh, I didn't even get to Rachel. Hold on.
You don't like her?
Oh.
No, Rachel's the worst character in the whole movie.
Watch the second movie? Did you watch the second movie?
Rachel. She's so nice.
You watch the second movie?
Rachel needs to understand that Elle is always going to be in Lee's life. and she's not understanding that.
She just wants some alone time. She doesn't have a problem with him being.
Fine.
This is a very heated argument about a couple of really terrible movies that were like the worst movies that I've ever seen.
Okay, but in the first movie, they decided that the rules weren't going to be a thing anymore, and all of a sudden, in the second movie, they're all like, "Oh, rule number 19."
It's the stupidest thing you've ever seen.
No, let me get to it. Rule number 19: always go to the same school as your bestie. So Lee's like, "You have to go to Berkeley with me," and then Noah's like, "Well, come to Harvard with me." The end
And
of
I'm
the
like,
movie,
just go to Northeastern or Boston College. Like,
she tells them both at graduation, "Oh, I got waitlisted to both Harvard and Berkeley."
So
And then it cuts to her acceptance letters from both colleges.
whoa, whoa,
Cliffhanger. And Marco says he's not ready to give up on Elle because she is worth it, he says.
She almost kissed him in the kissing booth. Almost.
Analogy thing here. Or
Marco is perfect for Elle. Elle's friendship with Lee is toxic. Elle's relationship with Noah is toxic. She needs to go somewhere else for college that is not Harvard or Berkeley. And
She'll end up going to Berkeley, right?
No, she goes to Harvard 100% because her and Noah are meant to always be together, even though they
Gap year. Takes a gap year.
No. But let me just tell you right now. So there's Sharknado for action movies. This is the Sharknado for comedies. Like, it is that bad. Mallory, put it on the poll.
It's a rom-com.
Is the Kissing Booth franchise the Sharknado of?
no.
Are they going to do another Sharknado?
I think they're finally finished, but I'm going to put it on the poll.
But breaking news.
What?
There is going to be a third movie. They already filmed it right after the second movie because
Noah.
it's noticeable in the second movie. Noah and Elle dated in real life and broke up after the first one, and it's very noticeable in the second movie. So they had to film the third one right after just because they really don't like each other so much that they wouldn't even be in the same Zoom call for the press that they were all doing last week. So, but the third movie
Must have cheated.
I don't know, but he's with Zendaya now, so I mean, good for him.
I feel like everybody dates Zendaya. Am I right?
I feel like Zendaya has not dated a lot of people.
Oh, I feel like I hear rumors about Zendaya all the time. But let me just tell you what this movie gets wrong, especially in the first one. So one of the first parts of the movie is Noah walking up to Elle and said, "Hey, Elle, when did you get boobs?" Or "When did you get the boobs?" And I was just like, what? And then she gets her butt grabbed by someone in like the first, and they kind of laugh both of those off. And I'm like, I thought Animal House was 40 years ago. Like, what are we doing now? Like, I don't get it. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. How is that okay in the movie? I don't know. I don't get it. They laughed it off. I don't like it.
Well, Noah beat him up when he grabbed,
Yes, but like that should be criminally prosecuted.
If someone grabs someone's butt, that should be dealt with by the school.
It was. He got sent to the principal's office.
Yeah.
Like,
If you're 18 years old, then yeah, like these are minors. Like, they should be sent to the principal's office and have like a suspension.
It's because her skirt ripped and all that,
You can actually, but that's actually a misdemeanor. We were told that in middle school that is actually a misdemeanor.
Yeah, if you're 18.
No, you can still be charged with a misdemeanor. It just goes off your record. You get sent to juvenile detention. You don't get sent to.
Wow.
For doing what now?
Grabbing someone's butt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of butts, do you guys like to poop?
What?
Yeah. Do you guys like to poop? Like, do you enjoy the activity? Do you enjoy a good poop?
I'm not
Girls,
sure I like where this conversation is going.
No.
girls
Do you have
do
any
not
more,
poop.
do you have any more thoughts about the movie?
No.
Only if it makes me think that I'm losing weight. That's all I'll say.
I don't think that's how it works, but like I find it a therapeutic activity.
Well, it depends. It can't be too hard and it can't be too loose.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
a
god.
good
Wait a
poop.
minute. You're reminding me of a quote from one of my high school
You
teachers.
enjoy a good poop.
No, that one you can't put on a poll.
What?
But hold on. Hold on, I gotta pull this up.
That's a totally good
If
poll,
you
right?
tweet that- If you tweet that out, I'm leaving the show immediately.
Wrong with pooping. I don't understand. Everybody poops except for Mallory. Mallory doesn't poop.
Listen, my high school
don't
religion, my high school religion teacher once said, "Listen, guys, pooping may be a religious experience sometimes." So
It is. It's a good. It's like you're sitting there. It's got to be a good poop though. It can't just be It can't just be like it can't be a diarrhea experience.
Evan,
Can we talk about something else?
Evan, your thoughts?
I think we need to move on to the next topic. How's
What?
that?
I want your thoughts on pooping.
by the way, their Bachelor Goat was a rerun tonight. So
Yeah. But next week we have Allie F.
Who's Allie
There-
at?
Allie Fedorov, something like that. And huh?
What?
Who's Allie?
Sergey Fedorov?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Sergey
Oh,
Fedorov. Yeah, let's talk about him.
The Bachelor next week is going to be exciting. It was one of my first seasons that I watched, full of drama. Someone storms out of the show, hops. There was a distinct villain in the show, and you guys will get to see that. It's very entertaining.
WNBA.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I watched 2 of the games this weekend. Sunday I was watching baseball, and I don't have the CBS Sports Network. But
I watched the end of the Sky Aces game yesterday.
that game was apparently the best game of the weekend.
Yeah, except the Aces couldn't hit a 3 to save their life.
There were a lot of problems with that this weekend.
Yeah.
But I wanted to focus on Sabrina Ionescu's debut.
Lonzo Ball.
I wouldn't go there yet, but she looked really bad for the most part. The first
Are you saying Lonzo Ball saying she was overhyped and not as good as she's supposed to be?
Yeah, but Lonzo Ball wasn't even the number 1 pick. That's like
He was the number 2 pick and could have been just as easily been the number 1 pick.
nobody hyped him up the way they hype up. He wasn't considered the greatest college player of all time.
Yeah, but Sabrina was being like heavily double teamed, and it was
Yeah.
against the good.
Learn how to, if you're the next Kobe, if you're the next LeBron, learn how to deal with that.
Yes, 100%.
It is. I think she
Okay,
had perfectly
okay.
fine stats.
One game.
4
It's
for 17.
The
and
first game,
Yeah,
guys.
no, I've never liked her attitude, so I'm always gonna be hard.
And okay,
Sabrina's so nice.
look, they lost the game.
The
She
mom
didn't
of
play as
Audi.
well as some people expected. She had her moments, okay? Like, she had a couple really nice passes in there. Like, you can see the talent is there. I don't think it's
Four-
fair
4 for
to have
17
this
makes me think
conversation after
healthy.
one game.
Sabrina's going to be fine. Let me just get that right out there. I think she's going to be great. I think she's the next great WNBA player. But the debut was concerning because when I turned the game on to start the second quarter, I checked her stats. 2 for 4.
Only does it for the cameras.
Stop.
Jesse and I were at the Pac-12 tournament. Sabrina is a very nice person.
I don't know, bro. She's just one of those.
Dallas Storm are a good team, I would guess. If Sue Bird.
Yes, they've got the 2 best. They've got the best player in the league.
Wait, hold on. If the Liberty had the number 1 pick, then they were the worst team in the league. So, or one of the worst teams.
But again, after the first quarter, very concerning because I looked at the first quarter stats: 2 for 4, 5 rebounds in the first quarter. After that, she had 1 rebound and was 2 for her next 13. So, it's a concerning debut. I think she'll be fine, but it was definitely a
I
concern.
don't think it was concerning.
I think it
I
was.
was 4 for 17 and 0 for 8. Not concerning, Mallory.
How good? Like Maya Moore was like the best player in the WNBA, and she was the best player right away when she.
I
came.
was 4 for. Explain to me how 4 for 17 is not concerning. I just want to hear an explanation. I know I'm getting too serious.
I don't have an explanation, but it's not concerning. Like, I'm not concerned. Like, she's gonna be fine.
As Kendrick Perkins would go, I won.
I just know Maya Moore was the best player in the WNBA right away. First game, best player in the WNBA.
Yes, because in women's basketball, they actually stay in school, so they're good right away. unlike NBA players that need to take their time to get
Sabrina wasn't good right
Yeah.
away.
after.
Yeah, but let's remember the conditions that they're under and the difference in
Oh,
training.
so terrible. They get to go and swim in pools and get room service and do whatever they want. It's an IMG Academy, great facility. No, they're fine. Trust me.
Maya Moore, 13.2 points, 5 rebounds a game. She shot 44% from the field, 37 from 3. Look at Elena Delodon, same thing. Diana Taurasi, same thing. I think she won a title in her third year in the league, something like that. So
Hey, but speaking of Taurasi and the Mercury,
rough opener for them as well. But
but the Sparks though.
the Sparks were on fire.
The Sparks were pretty good.
Sparks are looking really good, especially Candace Parker. Like last year, she had her career worst year, and then she came back on Saturday and looked great. So I think the Sparks and Derek Fisher have figured it out.
Candace Parker still do TV?
Yeah, she does the NBA show on Tuesday, which I don't know.
With Dwayne Wade and Shaq.
I don't know if she's doing that right now, and if she's just going to join on Tuesdays. I mean, the WNBA is playing on Tuesdays, so.
And one of the ESPN, and they have I can't pronounce their names to save my life. But yeah, they're still on there, right? Both of them?
Yes.
Cool.
But I'm just going to touch on this real quick so we can move on to what are we doing. But the Mystics, without a few of their best players from the championship team, came out and absolutely obliterated whoever they were playing. I forgot, but yeah, I think that they look good. I'm a little concerned about the Mercury and how they shot the ball. I think their time might have just come because I think Taurasi's 38 years old now, and
No,
she's
the Mercury.
It's one game. What are you talking? It's been one game. It's been one game.
I still think
Don't be hard on her. It's been one game.
Much serious sports talk.
Are you going to give up on a team that's won multiple titles after one bad performance?
Yes.
Yes, when their star player is 38 years old and their coach doesn't use their best.
Let's forget about Brittany Griner and Skylar Diggins and.
Wow, yeah, their team's pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah, they're
See,
Forgot about
one game.
Okay, so Brittany Griner, the coach's plan for her is to go and take free throw line jump shots instead of dominating in the post because she's literally taller than she's the tallest player. She's like the Yao Ming of women's basketball. She's 6'9".
Cam Beige taller?
What'd you say?
Isn't Cam Beige taller?
She's 6'6" or 6'7". You just throw her down. You throw Griner down in the paint and you feed her. That's all you do. It just bothers me that Brandello has her out at the free throw line running some stupid set. Just let her dominate. Yes, they double team her, but she seems to do well with contact.
They did in college with her and she dominated.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't like
hockey. Can we loosen it up before we go to what are we doing and talk hockey?
Sure.
Since that's coming back.
Evan.
But it's more hot takes and stuff because there was a disaster.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was a disaster that I'm gonna have Evan fully complain because all I know is that there was a rift with the Coyotes and Chaika ended up resigning. So, Evan, you got the floor.
Okay, so before we get to that whole thing, I just want to say that players are in the bubble cities now. No one's tested positive, and there's hockey games on tomorrow. I am as happy as I have ever been in my almost 20 years on this planet. I can't wait for Saturday when the qualifiers start. I will not leave my couch on Saturday when the qualifiers start. Yeah, I'm ready for hockey. We're going to have hockey. It's going to be epic. So moving on from that high note to a very low note for one team. The Coyotes are looking for a new GM now because John Chayka has, in their words, quit on a very competitive, very resilient team. I'm not sure what happened here. There's two different versions of this story. If you ask Chayka, he had a professional opportunity that was not with another team that he wanted to explore, that the Coyotes ownership didn't let him. so he just had to leave on his own terms. If you ask the Coyotes what happened, he didn't give them any notice, and he just up and left before he was supposed to go to Edmonton. Whoever is telling the truth here, it's a terrible look for both sides. The Coyotes have to re-sign Taylor Hall. They're in a postseason situation for the first time in almost a decade, and now they don't have a full-time GM. They've named Steve Sullivan the interim. He seems like he'll do a good job if they decide to go with him long-term, but it's just another setback for an organization that seems to have endless setbacks. So yeah, not a good look for them. I can't imagine what's going through the players' heads. They're trying to prepare for this play-in round against Nashville, and they have to deal with this black cloud hanging over their heads at the same time. And there's a lot of people dumping on John Shaka on Twitter right now. You know, whether or not he was a good GM, this just doesn't bode well for the organization. They're a team that really needs stability, and this just doesn't help at all.
I thought he was a really good GM. I mean, you see what they did this year and even parts of last year.
They traded for Taylor Hall. Like, that's a big trade. And they got Phil Kessel, who's going to be – he's been a really good player for their power play, right?
And let's
you can – okay, so here's the thing.
I saw Chris.
So here's the thing. I don't think his performance as GM had anything to do with his exit.
Right.
But the team is in a precarious situation with the cap right now. They're spending the most money of any team in the National Hockey League, which I know is crazy because Coyotes, don't spend money ever.
Yeah.
And they are probably going to have to sign Taylor Hall to a richer contract than he has right now. So that makes things really difficult for Steve Sullivan now, who's got to figure out what to do with this roster. But also, if you're Taylor Hall, why would you re-sign with this team? I mean, it looks from the outside like ownership just booted the GM, who they extended in November for 4 years out the door because he wanted to explore another opportunity that they let him explore, by the way. All indications are he went to ownership and asked to interview for this job, and they said fine. And then when it looked like he wanted to leave, they backed up. So it's a terrible optic for the Coyotes. And if you're Taylor Hall, I don't see why you would come back. Like, there's no guarantee this team makes it into the playoffs anyway. It just doesn't look good at all.
Taylor Hall, you'll be 29 when the season begins next year. That's a little bit younger than a current player on the Washington Capitals, who is about to be 35 later this year.
How you doing?
Alex Ovechkin.
How you doing?
Taylor Hall, I know he has a -42 career plus minus.
You're on a hockey database right now, aren't you, Jesse?
I'm on Hockey Reference.
I like the fact that he had to put in his age, about to be 29. Like he definitely killed that. Like
younger player.
Esky, what are you doing?
The Capitals are not a potential suitor for Taylor Hall. I just want to say that right now.
I mean, yeah, but they could be if they move things around. So yeah, Taylor Hall to the Caps. Let's go. Let's get it done. Woohoo!
They're walking.
What? I'm just doing what you guys do. I don't know.
Do you have any more points on this situation, or can we talk about the most important hockey news of the week?
I have one more thing that I want to say, and that's that I don't think John Shake is going to be out of work for very long. Reportedly, there were other teams courting him. New Jersey, Buffalo were rumored. If there is a team that has a GM vacancy in the near future, I expect John Shake to be on the short list.
He's a 31-year-old. He's basically a GM prodigy here.
Yeah.
I think he did a good job making that team into somewhat competitive where they haven't been in a while. So, and at his age, you don't see 31-year-old GMs, building semi-winning teams in any level of any sports. So, just saying right now, GM prodigy John Chaka or whatever they say.
Mallory, fix your background because we're going to talk about the most important hockey news of the week.
Oh, I'm so excited.
The most exciting hockey news of the week.
Put on your mask so we can see them play in Seattle.
Yes. The Kraken.
Yay!
Yeah.
You want to talk about this?
What's that? You don't want to talk about this?
Mallory, you want to talk about this? 'Cause
I don't know. There's not much to say. I'm just like the colors. I'm obsessed with the navy blue, with the light blue, the hint of red. The logo in the middle here, the anchor with the Space Needle on top is genius. I love it. I didn't think that they were gonna go with the Kraken. I thought that was just like a rumor, but I think it's a great name. I'm very excited to buy a jersey when they come out because they look amazing. And I can't wait to go to a game at, what are they calling it again?
Climate
Pledge
Climate
Arena.
Pledge Arena.
where you will be drinking your beverages out of waffle cones.
what?
Nah, they're no single-use plastics. That's my joke. Is you drink beer out of a waffle cone.
That would
Key
be kind of
Arena. It's Key Arena, and it will forever be Key Arena.
Well, they're building a new arena.
no.
It is the same
It's the
site,
same-
basically,
it's
but they've
and
basically
have the same
rebuilt
roof.
the entire thing.
Yeah, it's the same roof.
Yeah, they're dropping the old historic roof on top of a new arena.
I will be going to a game the first season. That
I'm going to opening day.
Okay.
If they have fans. Mallory, put it
Oh.
on the poll. Will
First-
the arena be the Crack House?
Oh my gosh! No.
Yeah, so
Will their
we
fans
that's a good segue into what I'm about to say.
crackheads
I
and Crack
still-
House? I love it.
I still don't love the name. The uniform and logos are great. They definitely hit the nail on the head there. I still think the name is a little gimmicky. You know, it's one of those names that, in 20
And
years.
the Golden Knights aren't.
Yeah, that one got a lot of hate too when they came in the league, but it's very like Raptors-esque in that it's great at the time, but I don't necessarily know if it'll age great. It's probably the best name out of the list of possible names they had. I was not a fan of Sockeyes because
I like Sockeye.
a fish mascot and a fish logo is terrible. Get that right out of there. And the plural of Sockeye is Sockeye. You
Yeah.
ask anyone from the Pacific Northwest, from BC, what the plural of Sockeye is, they'll all tell you there's no S. So that's garbage. Get that out of there. I mean, like, I think all things considered, they did a pretty good job. If you're going to join what, in my opinion, is the greatest sports league on this planet, you better know what you're doing as far as branding and naming is concerned. And I'm willing to accept this one. I think it's passable, and I can't wait to see what this team looks like on the ice.
I love it just for the fact that their fans are going to be known as the Crackheads, and their arena will be known as the Crack House.
Mallory has a prediction for one. If you get it, you got to put it on air. Mallory's prediction for one of their first players.
Oh, yeah, I said this, like, I've been saying this for a long time, that Trocheck's going to end up in Seattle. Like, there's no question about, like, I don't think he's going to be protected. And I think, like, the GM in Seattle will, like, recognize his potential. And, I can't wait to have a
The
Trocheck.
GM in Seattle, I'm pretty
Ron
sure.
Francis. It's Ron Francis, old Carolina GM.
Yeah.
And Hall of Famer, by the way,
That's
as
another
a player.
Was he in the Panthers organization as well at some point?
Probably not, because he played for the Whalers and Carolina for most of his career, and that's where he was a GM as well.
Okay.
Played for Pittsburgh too, won a Stanley Cup there. He's a legendary player. He's like top 15 all time in points, I'm pretty sure. But it's way too early to tell what their roster is going to look like. If Trocheck has another bad year with Carolina, he could easily end up there. But the fact that he was GM of that team before makes me think he might take one of his guys, like somebody who was on the team while he was in Raleigh too.
Yeah.
Either way, like they're still a year out from drafting their team. But I will say this, I bet you they're going to be the second best expansion team ever because they paid $600 million to get into the league. The expansion draft rules are going to be the same as last time. I guarantee you Francis is going to try and do what George McPhee did with those trades. Don't be surprised if this team is really competitive year one.
Mike Fultonevich was designated for assignment by the
I
Braves.
saw that.
I just don't see Trocheck being with Carolina.
Marlins, pick him up, Marlins.
Here's the thing about that. So he wasn't good in the 7 games he played with them at the end of the regular season, but it's a new
Scored an overtime goal.
shouldn't have counted, but that's beside the point. It's a new team, new style of play. It takes some players a while to get used to that. I remember when James Neal got traded to Pittsburgh from Dallas in 2010, he had 1 goal in 20 games with the Penguins, and then the next year he scored 40. So you never know. It could just be a matter of adjusting. But if he does have another bad year with the Canes, they're going to want to get rid of his contract, and he'll still have a year left on that deal. So Seattle could definitely have an opportunity to pick him up.
From the Panthers, my prediction is Frank Vetrano will end up on the Kraken.
And we
I have a crazy hot take.
No,
Aaron Ekblad.
Get out of here.
Can we talk?
No.
In what world do the
Talk
Panthers
about
not
current
protect him?
I don't know. I think there's just something is telling me.
All
Okay,
right,
Jeremy.
we have it on the record. We'll look back at this.
I will pay you an enormous amount of money if Ekblad is exposed.
I hope he isn't, but I think that he might be. And like what happened in the last expansion draft, they don't have to be left.
How many top pairing defensemen were exposed when Vegas was drafting? Why do you think Vegas has such a weak blue line right now? You don't give up top pairing defensemen for nothing.
I don't know. I just have some sort of feeling.
We are gonna move on because
Marc-Andre Fleury is their goaltender. That's all I got to
Good
say.
idea.
Flower.
we like this. We like that take. That is where we like to go on this show.
No flower.
All
I
right.
love the flower.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
All righty. Who wants to start?
I'll go. So, honorable mention to Jeremy Schnell's fantasy baseball team here, which just today cracked the 100-point mark. Congrats, Jared.
Boys.
But
I have a players only meeting or something. Something's going on.
I
Players
hate
only.
I hate to dump on the Coyotes here. We talked about their GM vacancy earlier in the show. Rumor has it they're interested in bringing in Peter Chiarelli to be the GM after the season's over. The same Peter Chiarelli who ran the Bruins into the ground, the same Peter Chiarelli who traded Taylor Hall for Adam Larson, traded Jordan Eberle for Ryan Strome, and ran the Edmonton Oilers into the ground. Arizona, don't do it. Take it from me, don't do it. You don't want this guy anywhere near your team. You're already in cap hell. You already have a big UFA to sign in Taylor Hall. You've already had your share of pretty awful trades this last year. Looking at you, Phil Kessel. What is that? 14 goals, 38 points. That's not good enough what they're paying you. You don't want more of this. There's so many options on the table. Ron Hextall, he did a good job in Philly. Only problem is he didn't call up Carter Hart. That guy would be so much better on your team than Chiarelli. Coyotes, what are you doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
I guess I'll go here. I've been wanting to do this. What are we doing for like months now? I don't know if anybody's aware of former above-average Major League Baseball player Aubrey Huff and his Twitter. Aubrey Huff is a clown, and he's either a clown or he just knows he'll get a rise out of people, so he just tweets super politically incorrect things on his Twitter account all the time. And here's his Twitter bio before I start reading some of his tweets. And be warned, if you're watching and you're offended by bad language, there will be bad language in this segment because I just can't avoid it with his Twitter account. So, and I will not be bleeping it out. Here we go. So, proud father, believer, podcaster, award-winning stick figure artist, 2-time World Series champion, protector of toxic masculinity, hashtag Aubrey's Army, hashtag America.
Wait, you only won 2 World Series? Damn.
Yeah, apparently.
No, he wasn't with the 14 team.
He won
Was there by then.
on the 10 and the 12 teams, but
Yeah.
on the 12 teams, he hit like 192.
Was good on that 10 team.
Yes, very good. One of their best players. Had a home run in the World Series. Let's see. Okay, I'll just start with this one. Toxic masculinity is greater than masked kneelers. Want student debt canceled? Then quit protesting, bitching, blaming, and get off your ass and work at getting a scholarship. Hashtag participation trophy generation. Here's my favorite one that he's ever tweeted. Jesus exuded toxic masculinity. What? Okay. Nerves, excitement, and adrenaline only come from at MLB fans in the stands. We will witness the weakest celebration in World Series history this year.
He also tweets out mean things to Bubba Wallace every week.
Yes, he says Bubba Smollett. Here we go. White male liberals are a word that I will not say. White female liberals are demonic. If you're an MLB player wearing a mask during a game, then you pee sitting down because, he thinks that's an insult. Communism is happening before our eyes. Okay, no, here's the best one. Here's the best one. Communism is happening before our very eyes with this ridiculous mask fines. He forgot the E on his these. So THES, ridiculous mask fines. We went from 2 weeks to slow the spread to here's your $1,000 fine. Hashtag scamdemic. Let's see.
He tweeted a picture of Anthony Fauci not wearing his mask and said, "Do as I say and not as I do." And the top, one of the top comments was like, he would be actually showing social distancing and wearing a mask if he thought this was anything close to being real. And hashtag scamdemic.
Yeah, he said he called someone a midget troll the other day. I don't think we can say that anymore. Representative Omar said, "Wear a mask," tweeted that, and he quote tweeted her and said, "Blow your brother." Here we go. Let's see. Anything else? Let's see. It's easy to be a communist in a free country, but try being free in a communist country. At MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL seasons canceled in 3, 2, 1. Hashtag scamdemic. Fear is more contagious than hashtag coronavirus.
Right, we get the picture.
What a jolly guy.
Yeah.
This guy sounds like a pleasure to be around.
Oh no, he's literally the worst person he's the worst person on Twitter.
Yeah, I hope
come across anybody worse.
I hope this is all some kind of sick joke, but if it's not, this guy has to be like the biggest grouch that's ever lived. Is he ever in a good mood?
What beer do you think this guy drinks? Because I totally see this guy just
PBR 100.
PBR is sophisticated. He
PBR,
drinks,
oh my gosh.
This dude drinks Beck's beer or Keystone Light. He's at a barbecue, Keystone Light with some shirt that's offensive.
We need to stop stereotyping him because that's what he does.
Yes, yeah. Actually, very very good point there.
So yeah, this guy's.
I am tweeting.
Okay, this guy's brutal, but there are active professional athletes who tweet similar things. Tony D'Angelo for the New York Rangers, his Twitter is basically a carbon copy of this, but without the expletives and juvenile insults. It's basically the exact same. And the NHL and the Rangers just let him do it. They don't care.
Can I tweet more of a grouch Oscar or Aubrey Huff?
No.
Or do you not want to do that?
You don't want the toxic masculinity people on our back.
I really do, because the more publicity, the better.
No.
The more.
If anything, that's
right?
that's good attention for us because they're hating on us, so they're our enemies.
All in favor, say aye. All in favor.
I'm honestly down for that.
Mallory?
Aye. That's 3. That's 3 against 2.
Yes, let's go.
No.
What are we doing?
Good thing Max isn't here, eh? We would have had an even number of people. That would have ruined it.
Max would totally be down for this poll.
Oh, okay, well then never mind.
Rob Manfred is my what are we doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mallory, your turn.
My what are we doing are haters of the WNBA.
Yeah.
Every tweet that is WNBA related, it's who cares? No one cares.
So annoying. I can't with them. That's why I don't read the comments on it anymore.
The Mercury
Don't report.
clapped back. The Mercury clapped back at one of the haters. Someone said no one cares. You can click on the profile. The person's a big Kobe fan. The Mercury responded, Kobe supported the WNBA, so you should too. I was like, okay, Mercury. That was a good clap back.
Kobe loved the WNBA, all the NBA players, people that know basketball. People that know basketball know that it's just a different form of basketball. It's not bad. It's just a different form. There's things in men's basketball that I love that aren't in the WNBA. There's things in WNBA that aren't in the NBA that I love. Like 40 minutes of defense. They do that. They play full on defense, which doesn't happen really in the NBA. You know, there's not the high flying dunks and stuff, but you know, that I love about the NBA. But the NBA is not as, you know, fundamentally sound. And I sometimes like to watch that and like to see players actually, you know, do what they were taught at a certain age instead of just, oh, I'm athletic, I'm just going to let that be what carries me. And, you know, that's what.
And also, my what are we doing is the WNBA for using smaller basketballs than the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, they used to not use smaller basketballs in the WNBA.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, because I think it may be because the NBA players are a little bit taller, have, you know, like larger
My
hands.
cousin played with NBA basketballs until she stopped playing with the boys' teams.
I see both sides. I honestly see.
Our cousin was fine with playing with NBA type size basketballs. So
Yeah.
I don't see any problem with why the WNBA players should not. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's sexist, in my opinion.
I mean, you can see it as both options, but you know, most of the WNBA players are 5'9" or above, and so their hands are big enough to hold a full-size basketball. So I think that definitely. I mean, I see both sides, and I think that at the end of the day, it needs to be a decision made by
The Players Association.
Players Association and we're involved in women's basketball.
We love the orange hoodies, the support
love
from
the orange
NBA players. I ordered an orange hoodie. Hopefully it will be here by next week. I can wear it, and I'm very excited about my orange hoodie. That's all.
All right, so what are we doing? Matt Kling.
And then I'll do the polls, I guess.
What are we doing?
This is literally my most favorite and least favorite thing of all off seasons, most specifically the NFL off season, and that is the NFL Network's top 100 players as voted on by the players.
Okay.
I like that in terms of rankings because it's kind of an authentic list. You have fellow peers voting in fellow peers. Now, I say that because there's some very weird hilarities on this list. Like, Dak Prescott is ranked 46th on this list. Fair ranking, but he wasn't ranked last year. Now, last year, he was coming off a playoff appearance. This year, he's not. Like, that's what I don't understand. And I also don't understand how these really good defensive players like Fletcher Cox drop so many spots.
Chandler Jones wasn't even on the list last year.
Well, Chandler Jones should be on the list this year, and if he is, he'll be top 40.
It's just ridiculous he wasn't on the list last year.
I mean, he should probably be top 25. Isn't he like the best pass rusher in the league? Like,
One of the best.
He had the most sacks in 2012.
But how does Amari Cooper go up from 64 last year to 49 this year? Like, that's what I don't understand.
There seems to be sort of an Eagles bias on this one.
No.
Yeah, let's just
or anti-Cowboys bias is more likely.
Well, he did talk about Fletcher Cox.
Okay, look, that's just. I mean,
Matt's being a Philly fan. Next week we know he's going to be throwing snowballs with rocks in them at Santa Claus.
but why? How is Alvin Kamara ranked only 42nd on this list? He was ranked 14th last year. he still had a good year. I can see him being a top 40 player. I'm just interested to see what this top 40 is. Now I'll give you 50 through 49 just to refresh the audience in case they don't follow NFL Network on Twitter. So Darius Leonard, who was ranked 26th last year, is ranked 50th this year. Amari Cooper ranked 64th last year, 49th this year. Zadarius Smith, unranked last year, 48th this year.
Really
Tre'Davious White, 47th this year, unranked last year. Dak Prescott, unranked last year, 46th this year. J.J. Watt, ranked 12th last year, 45th this year. J.J. Watt's been number 1 before, by the way. Mark Ingram, 80th last year, 44th this year.
Mark Ingram, what?
Yeah, Mark Ingram's 44.
I don't know about that.
He rushed for over 1,000 last year.
Yeah, he's okay. But he's never been like a. I mean,
Jimmy Garoppolo's 43rd this year.
Who?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, 43rd.
Why is he even on the list?
I mean, he was a Super Bowl.
And so was Rex Grossman, but we didn't think of him as the best top 100.
That's not a fair comparison to Jimmy.
100% is.
No, it is not.
Seahawks.
No.
Alvin Kamara, 42nd, down from 14, and then unemployed Jadeveon Clowney, 41st.
Only by his own decision. Okay.
Yeah. Just some other ones. Just scrolling through here. Jarvis Landry, 61st.
Clowney's a bust.
Odell's 59th. Kirk Cousins is 58th. Devontae Adams only 57th.
Good. He's getting less respect because he's never been that good.
His numbers are so good.
Okay, but
you overrate Aaron Rodgers. Did you see him last year? Aaron Rodgers
he's a very good.
Okay, but
Alex Smith.
But this is why the What Are We Doing? This is why I devoted this What Are We Doing?
No way. No.
Jesse.
What do you want?
The reason why I'm devoting my What Are We Doing to this is because of Keenan Allen, who was ranked 77th this year by his peers, was ranked 38th last year, and he I'm looking through, he says he's the best wide receiver in the AFC East, which is debatable because Tyreek Hill is in that division. Tyreek Hill will probably be
AFC West, you mean?
AFC West, yes, I'm sorry.
I mean, 1,199 yards, so 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns.
But he also said he was better than Chris Godwin and Mike Evans.
Yes, he tweeted, okay, I'm tired of biting my tongue. Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and the list goes on, are not a better receiver than me. Faster than me every day of the week, but separation. Child, please. Look, this is why this list is ridiculous, because of these players that are either criminally underranked, deservedly underranked, or mix of the above. It's great talker. Football's coming back soon, knock on wood, if you're with me. But, NFL Network, what are you doing?
I mean,
and also Keenan Allen, what are you doing? Because he's better than Godwin. He is better than Chris Godwin, no doubt about it. I'm taking Tyreek over him 11 times out of 10. I'm taking Mike Evans over him 10 times out of 10. He's not better than either of those guys.
Jeremy,
he needs to eat some humble pie.
Jeremy, when we started the show, did we ever plan on who's the better wide receiver talk preseason?
It's not even based on like what kind of years they had. Like, he's just, out of those guys, he's number 3.
He had 6 touchdowns last year.
All right. I have the polls ready from starting last week. So, is Rob Manfred Darth Sidious from Star Wars? Yes, of course, or no? 63% of respondents say, of course.
We didn't touch on that.
If you voted no on that, you're a coward. Rob Manfred made Gary Bettman look like Jesus Christ. He is an embarrassment to commissioners everywhere.
Should the Goodyear blimp hover over baseball stadiums holding giant umbrellas to halt rain delays? 83% of respondents say yes.
Good.
Smart idea. Just hope the blimp does well. More interesting, NASCAR pit stops or MLS's back tournament? 83% of respondents say pit stops. They
Yeah,
can
they're a lot more fun to watch than MLS is back.
Nope.
be entertaining. By the way, one of the least watched NASCAR races ever, Denny Hamlin won on Thursday night.
Yeah, we didn't get into that this week, probably.
Sounders down 2-0 in the 41st minute.
And the Brewers and Pirates are tied at 5 in the ninth as I'm speaking. The Brewers came back from down 4 runs in the top of the inning, a.k.a. the Pirates.
Really?
By the way, Brewers uniforms are nice. So nice.
For the Padres, I'm a big fan of those.
Yeah. Anyway, should the Red Panda and the Marlins man be allowed in the NBA bubble? 67% of respondents say yes. I agree on the Red Panda one. Don't know about Marlins man. Marlins man should be at the ballpark. But anyway. Do UFC fighters actually eat P3? You know, the third round of fights, you know what's sponsored by P3.
Who would allow a Marlins man to an event? It would be Dana White. Dana White would 100% allow Marlins man to go to a UFC event.
Anyway.
And
I found our angle.
He looked kind of nervous next to him because Dana White always looks like he's got some crime he's covering up.
So 100% of respondents say no, UFC fighters do not eat P3, even though the third round is sponsored by P3.
He's adult lunchable, by the way.
Most annoying fan base in sports: Cowboys, Philly fans, Miami Heat, or Yankees.
Toronto
Here's
Maple
how
Leafs.
it's ranked. Cowboys 33%, Yankees 27%, Philly fans and Miami Heat each split with 20%.
Okay, wait. How did the Yankees get 27? That's crazy. Wow, Yankees 27, big time.
Whoa, that is weird.
How
man.
are the Maple Leafs not included in this poll? Have you met a Maple Leafs fan?
What about the Bruins should have been on the poll?
What about
Yeah.
Montreal Canadiens fans? They're really annoying. You know what I'm saying, guys?
We're only annoying if you speak French.
What do you
I
think
just-
of the
I just-
MLB cardboard cutouts?
I almost put Pittsburgh fans. They're pretty bad.
The Penguin fans?
The Penguin
Well,
fans and Steeler fans.
They have a right to.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like they're in the midst of a 53-year cup drought, but you wouldn't know that from talking to Leafs
New
fans
York
they act
Knicks
like they win
fans.
every
Oh
year.
my gosh, New York Knicks fans.
What do you think of Major League Baseball of the MLB cardboard cutouts? By the way, style note, it's not the MLB, but in the context of this question, it's okay. So what do you think of the Major League Baseball cardboard cutouts? Love it, hate it, love it, A for effort, or hate it? Right now, I got 60% of respondents love it, 20% A for effort, 20% hate it. Is Bol Bol better than Michael Jordan? 85% of respondents say yes. Is Magic City a restaurant, adult entertainment establishment, or a strip club? Right now, 40% of respondents say it's a restaurant, 40% of respondents say it's a strip club, 20% of respondents say it's an adult entertainment center, I guess. Do the Dolphins have any superstars? 67% of respondents say they do not.
Two. Name one.
Cuba.
Two hasn't played a game yet.
Is the kissing booth the Sharknado of comedies? Right
And
now,
Xavier Howard.
right now it's a 50-50 split on the respondents.
Never happened before.
But the poll of the day, more of a grouch, Oscar or Aubrey Huff? 100% of respondents say Aubrey Huff.
Wow. Oscar didn't even get a vote. Oscar's name, he's a grouch. I don't understand. Wow.
Ram.
All right. Follow us on Twitter @the letter Y So Serious Show. Next week, daily shows apparently. We'll see how that goes.